Hey there, boys and girls. Today we'll be doing the Kefka series boss battle with Tifa. The missions are use no more than 5 items, defeat him with a limit burst, beat him within 20 turns. Mr. Snake was kind enough to set us up with a really nice manslaying Tifa. This is kind of comp specific, the way I'm doing this. Some people were saying they didn't have Ignacio, and I want to show that Tifa pairs really well with Locke because he has a Water Imperil in his kit, and since Kefka's Final Fantasy VI, thematically it makes sense as well. I feel like a lot of people also pulled on the Chinese New Year banner, so we're going to be taking Emperor Fu with us. You don't need him. You could put Myra or somebody in that slot right there and be just fine. But Emperor Fu does give a Human Slayer buff, which is nice. I'm going to show the entirety of this fight, so if you're only interested in Kefka, just skip ahead in the video. Emperor Fu is going to be doing general mitigation, some resist buffs, like I said, the Manslayer buff. He's just an all-around good unit. He could even be our main breaker for this if we like took Locke out and put Ignacio in. His breaks are more than fine for this series boss battle. Charlotte's going to be our magic tank, basically because she has, that mitigation on her limit burst. Cecil would also work just fine in this slot. I didn't put any resist on her because Emperor Fu is going to give us a resist buff, but in general, it's not that big of a deal. Locke is going to be our breaker. I just put enough stuff on him, for some general survivability and then to get his limit burst as quick as possible. No big deal there. Dr. Aiden's going to be our healer for this one. I like Aiden because he's got barriers in his kit, and because of the Heartless Angel combo that Kefka does, we'll explain that a little bit later on. I feel like Aiden is a good match for this fight, so if you have him, he's definitely really nice to use. Tifa's going to be our damage dealer. Like I said, I went with Splash Knuckle. This is, I think, off of 3-star units, Trust Mastery. It's a water element. So that plays really nicely with the overall theme of how we're going to be doing this. And then I just put some Manslayer on her. Her attack isn't nothing crazy either. 2800 attack. Let's look at Mr. Snake. 2700 attack. So, I mean, we're roughly about the same. He's really well geared, though. I'm just saying, like, Tifa doesn't hit those crazy attack numbers like some of the other damage dealers does. But since, her kit's really strong, she does do a lot of damage. Now, the first 3 bosses are just kind of in the way until we get to Kefka, but I feel like it's been a minute since we've done this trial, so we'll just kind of go through them, and you can see what they do. Turn 1 with Charlotte, we're going to magic cover, and then we're going to get Emperor Fu. You have general mitigation, just a resist buff, and hell, we'll go with all resist. We'll just do that. And then Locke is going to break the boss. Kind of a downturn right here, so we'll just get up status elements and stat break protection. And then Tifa's going to power up with overdrive. I put the tips panel on that side. I keep forgetting it's on the left. I put the tips panel up. That's just for Kefka. I didn't make a tips panel for these bosses because, like I said, I don't feel like they're that difficult to take care of. Alrighty, so he buffed his defensive stats. That's not really a big deal. We're going to be shooting for a 3-turn kill on these guys all the way around. We'll get Final Blow ready. We'll come down here and get Submersion Dagger. That's Locke's in peril. So it always happens when I record videos. So we'll put some damage on him. Almost took him out. That's really nice. And then we'll just get Dr. Aiden to heal us up. Another side benefit of taking Emperor Fu with us is he's got really good MP regen as well. He's a very handy unit to have. I feel like a lot of people was disappointed they got him instead of Wulong, but I really feel like he was the true prize of that banner. Alrighty, we won't switch to Tifa's cooldown. We'll just heal up a little bit and just get through this guy. I really enjoy this fight. It's one of my more favorite fights in the game. We'll go ahead and magic cover. We're going to break. And the same thing with Emperor Fu. We'll just get some general mitigation and some resistances. Dr. Aiden will get a stat break protection. And we'll power Tifa up. Another nice thing, and I kind of showed it on the demon wall, Tifa's attack buff cannot be dispelled. Kefka does do dispels, so we're kind of playing both sides. Our attack buff can't be dispelled. We already have an element equipped, so that can't be. taken away from us either, and Locke can easily get that Imperil anytime he wants it. Alright, let's jump down here and get our Imperil again. I keep forgetting that Submersion Dagger actually like chains a little bit or like damages the boss. So we gotta let that go off before we start doing damage so we don't break our chains. We'll just defend these two. And then Dr. Aiden will heal us up. It's so close to taking him out on turn 2 both times. And you have to remember, Tifa is not necessarily a burst unit. She's more of a ramp up unit. So the more she does her attacks, you know, the stronger they get. Alright, let's just reload, heal up with Aiden, chain with Tifa. And if you're a little short on damage, like I said, her cooldown ability is more damage per turn than her chaining move until it gets all the way stacked up, but you still want to do it to maintain the modifiers. Alright, with this guy, same opener. Oh, I clicked off my window. Same opener. Cover, break. Get some resistances with Emperor Fu. And mitigation. Aiden will give a stat break protection. And Tifa will power up. I feel like the music from this game should be like in all of the boss fights. It's so good. Alright, let's jump down here and get Final Heaven. I know, like I said, I know this is kind of boring just to kind of plow through these bosses. And like I said, if you wanted to skip ahead, by all means. We'll get our Imperil up. And where's my heals? We'll go ahead and heal. Let Locke finish doing his thing. We'll put some damage in. We'll just defend these two. Our MP's looking pretty good, you know, as far as like, you know, on all of our units. I don't really feel like we need to use Fu's MP regeneration here, but maybe if you took some more turns to get to this point, you know, you could consider doing that before you get to the actual final boss fight. Come on, Charlotte, we got bigger and better things to do. Alright, we'll heal up with Aiden. Chain this guy down. Nice and easy. Always loved this part. He's so cool. Final Fantasy VI is by far my favorite Final Fantasy. I really enjoyed 4, but overall 6 is definitely my favorite. Kefka's going to destroy us all. So he's going to do this Heartless Angel. And that's a mechanic we're going to have to talk about in just a minute. So he's going to take us all down to 1 hit point. It's nice because it procs Locke's Crisis buff for his Limit Burst. So now we have a really strong buff and a really good Imperil active. We'll go ahead and use Overdrive with Tifa. Oh, not Final Heaven. One of the nice things about Dr. Aiden, he can cure stat breaks. So we don't necessarily have to front load all of that stuff. So, you know, like instead of taking 2 healers like we did in other clears on this one, we can just protect ourselves from ailments and then use an apple a day. We're fully healed up. We have a barrier. We're in good shape. And I don't see any need to do like mitigation with Emperor Fu. I could use the Human Slayer buff right now. But what I'm going to do, I can figure out which one of these buttons will let me do it. I'm just going to get some resistances. And again, I'm basically just killing time with Emperor Fu here. I don't want to damage Kefka past 80% on my first damage turn. is the reason I'm not going ham with the buff. So I want him to be above that mark, because I don't want to deal with the Heartless Angel combo. Alrighty, with Dr. Aiden, let's go ahead and clear those stat breaks. I think we've still got an active barrier. We kind of do. Alright, we'll do it this way. We'll cure those stat breaks, and we'll just heal. I think our units will be fine. Okay, so the Heartless Angel combo, what you need to know about it. Like I said, I don't want to trigger it on this turn. I'm going to take special care not to do so. But what happens when you push... let me click this off. We got our thresholds listed here. 80, 60, 50, 40, 30. A lot of thresholds. The 80, 60, and 40% thresholds are Heartless Angel combo thresholds. The 50 and 30% thresholds are just a... Kefka's going to buff, and in turn, he's going to have mitigation as well when he does that. So, Heartless Angel, for those of you who haven't already done this fight, it's going to take all of your units down to 1% hit point, and then he's going to counter you as well. So what you want to do to kind of prevent bad things from happening to you is not let your damage dealers attack first. Let your other units just punch Kefka, do whatever. So the counters go to them. He'll drop you down to 1%, and because we have some barriers active, it's going to be okay. So we'll get Tifa ready to chain. And I'm telling you that ahead of time just in case you over push right here, or hopefully we under push right here. I want to be above 80, like I said. But if you go past 80, you're going to have to deal with that. So we'll run this off like we're going to over push. We'll just have Charlotte and Locke hit first. Then we'll go ahead and get our Manslayer buff. And Emperor Fu does have magic mitigation in his kit as well. Let's see what happens with our damage. Yep, see, we over pushed right there. So the counters are going to go to Charlotte and Locke. There's your Heartless Angel. Oh, it still went to Tifa. Oh well. They should have went to the units that hit him first, but maybe Kefka just really doesn't like Final Fantasy VII. Alrighty, so we'll get 7th Heaven ready. I want to go ahead and push to 50% right now. That's the goal. We've got our Manslayer buff active. He's got a good Water Imperil active, so I feel like we should probably get our damage to where we need it to be. Okay, so he's going to hit point lock right here. He's going to buff himself, and then he's going to end his turn. So we're in really good shape. I think with Locke, I'm just going to do the attack and magic break and refresh this Imperil. It doesn't matter what the rest of our units do. There's his buff and in turn. Now, right here, I don't want to push below 30% on this turn because it just kind of makes the fight a little bit harder to do. I'm okay with pushing the 40%. We should still have general mitigation still active, so we're good there. So we'll go ahead and hit Kefka a couple of times. I think we can just reload Locke and do that. I'm rolling off Locke's smaller breaks right now, which is fine. And then with Aiden, let's just do a heal. And let's jump down here and just pick up a barrier. And then we'll chain Final Heaven. Like I said, I don't want to go below 30% right here. So hopefully we don't overpush this. That is so close. Let's just defend with Emperor Fu. So the counters went on our first two units, which is good. Heartless Angel is going to come in, take us low, and since those barriers were there, it kind of protects us from dying. Now, right here, it's really possible that we take Kefka completely out because he doesn't have his protection on this turn. And we have a strong Imperil active. But if you don't do that, and you push below 30 right here, you've got another turn to finish him off. So I'm going to go ahead and get Locke's Limit Burst ready, just to get the finish with Limit Burst mission out of the way. If we turn up a little bit short, that's fine. We can just get the Limit Burst back with Emperor Fu. So you're covered in both ways right here. As long as you're above 30% and you damage him down as low as possible, I feel like anybody could probably get the kill right here. So go ahead and send Tifa off. Let's send Lock off for the LB kill. There it is. Nice. 5 turns. We did water damage that time. He's weak to fire. If you're using fire, just pay attention. You know, you could do more damage than you necessarily want to and push through the fight. But overall, I think Tifa did really well there. Emperor Fu is definitely handy to have around, but he's not necessary for this whatsoever. Just an overall real nice, clean, simple kill. Hope you guys like it. I'm gonna try to do some more series boss battles today. I really enjoy using Tifa, and I really like the Tifa lock combo too. I actually UOC'd lock for this. I'd never recommend anybody using the UOC for things like this because Tifa is just another damage unit. She's going to come and go as far as, like, you know, our damage meta is concerned. So don't get overly concerned with like UOCing her or UOCing other units to support her. We have lots of options in global, and as always, if you can't kill a boss, you know, the next big thing's always around the corner. You could get it and, you know, kill it with that. So I hope you guys liked the video. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Toodaloo.